Hello and welcome to Blue Army TV. I'm sitting after Carlisle. I've managed to grind out a point away at Lincoln City in what quite frankly should have been all 3 points if it weren't for some very poor decisions by the officials today. I saw a stupid stat like there was 6 yellow cards and only one of them was for something that happened during the run of play. It's just. And you look at some of the things that should have been given on the pitch, like a blatant penalty in the first half for I think Sean Maguire was running through, wasn't given, and it proves what I've been saying for a while, and that's that I just think referees are scared at this level to give tough decisions. Like you won't get a referee give that kind of a penalty because they can't be bothered, in my opinion. And I'm not saying this is a thing for just that just benefits other teams and is always against us, because last week at Stevenage there was some very tough decisions that went our way that should have been given the other way. Like, the officials come out and apologised after the match for the Sean Maguire decision last week that probably should have been offside. Now look, I think it's about time we got our rub of the green for that kind of thing, but it just shows that it was worse at League 2, but even still in League 1 the officials just aren't up to scratch. And I don't know whether it's because the rules are, very, very unnecessarily complicated or what. But look, there was nothing complicated about that decision today. It should have been a penalty. Luke Plange gets his first goal for the club. That's obviously a very big positive. And look, we were by far the better team today against a team that, if they had won today, could have gone top of the league. Which, we said that last week at Stevenage, and they did go top of the league, But yeah, what I've noticed is we're playing a lot of the top clubs very early on at the minute. We seem to be playing clubs at the wrong time. But yeah, it's a good point on the road, and you've got to say that with our last 2 games being away from home against 2 of the top sides in the division, we've got to point out of both of them. And that now makes it 3 games unbeaten, if you don't count the ridiculous Papa John's Trophy mess of a competition. But yeah, 3 games unbeaten. We're starting to show now why we belong at this level. And I think if we play like that every week, we'll easily stay up. We've got some real quality in players here. We've got Owen Moxon, obviously just being Owen Moxon. He got the assist today from the free kick that Plange managed to put in, which, is another one that might go down as an own goal. It took a little bit of a deflection, but ultimately I think it has been given to Plange in the end. But yeah, we've got some real quality players. We've got Maguire, like I said, Moxon, like I've said. Lavelle had another brilliant game for me. And you think of other players we've got in the squad, like Paul Huntington, who's played at a higher level. And some ridiculously good talent in the squad. Thomas O'Leary on the bench, he was League Two's highest clean sheet leader. I know I've made my point on that very clear, that it was probably due to the defence in front of him. But, we've got very good players even on the bench. Thomas O'Leary's better than a bench player, really, even though he isn't getting it in the squad at the minute. We've got some real quality, and we've got some real quality players to bring off the bench as well. You think of Terry Blade, who came on today, absolutely rapid. I haven't seen a player like that play for Carlisle in a long time. He is really, really fast, and he's a very good option to have on the bench. Joe Garner's obviously played at a higher level. We've got the quality there to stay up in this division, and we're playing well at the minute. We're now coming back to Brunton Park, and it's that old saying: you win your home games, you draw your away games, and that's what we've managed to do over the last 3 games. We won against Shrewsbury at home. We drew 2 very, very tough away days, 2 very long away days, both with some fantastic support from the Carlisle faithful. And now we're going up to a Derby side who, yes, they've got some real quality players, but they're really not playing at their best at the minute. I think they're about 12th. But yeah, but on the other side of the coin, if teams win their games in hand against us, we could go down in the relegation zone. It's a very, very it's very, very hit and miss league. It's a very competitive league where anyone can beat anyone. But I think we belong, and I think we're going to be fine, because that was a really good performance today. That, like I said, we probably should have won in the end, especially in that first half, and especially with that penalty that. Even the commentators for Lincoln were saying that it should have been a penalty. It really was a big mistake from the officials, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was the kind of game that the officials come out afterwards and say, "Oh, sorry," because that's what happens. Nothing ever gets done, but these officials come out and they just apologise afterwards, and all's forgiven from the FA. Apologies for keep scratching my arm. You might remember a few months ago now I said there was a wasp up here. It's been living here ever since, and it has actually finally got me right in the arm. But you know, enough wasp chat. Actually, not enough wasp chat. Why do wasps exist? Can we please get rid of wasps? They are atrocious animals that just cause pain for no reason. I wasn't even anywhere near it. It attacked me out of nowhere. Unprovoked assault it was. But yeah, look, yeah, genuinely enough wasp chat. We were good. Should have won. And I think we're going to beat Derby next week. I think it's written in the stars that we go and beat them. After all that crack about not having a goal scorer and striker, we've now gone 3 games where, you know, we've had Joe Garner score, we've had Maguire score, and we've had Plange score. Our strikers are starting to rack up the goals now, and I think it's the perfect storm for Derby. A good Carlisle team coming in their stride against a Derby side that's really struggling. Yes, Derby will be the favourites, but it's almost like that game a few years ago where, you know, Arsenal were playing awfully and Brentford had just been promoted and they beat Arsenal in the first day of the season. It was described as a perfect storm. It's big enough, you know, it's a big enough club for it to be a spectacle to beat them, but they're also on a really bad run of form where it's not impossible for it to happen. And that's how I feel about Derby. I think we'll beat them. I really do. And I hope I'm sitting here next week telling you about how we thrashed them 3-0 with Sean Maguire getting a hat-trick. But yeah, enough of me waffling now. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. Please go and check out the last video that was in, that was with CU04, another brilliant Carlisle United YouTube channel reviewing our summer transfer window. Part 1 of that video will be on his channel. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And in a bit.